Welcome to Gardeners Cottage in Blakeney here on the North Norfolk coast, and we've got 34 degrees here today and blue skies, which means we're having to do an awful lot of this to keep this garden looking in good form for the rest of the summer. We've still got some gorgeous hollyhocks in full flower, plenty of bud left on these stalks yet to go on flowering throughout most of August. And just on the entrance to the main garden we've got this beautiful little planting of Japanese anemones, which from now right the way through to September give us this flush of beautiful pink flowers. And on the other side we've now got in full flower the Lavatera. It's taken quite a battering over the last couple of years, this, and has been cut back quite hard this season. Tend to get quite woody, but it's tender wood and the wind tends to break them off, so that has been quite pruned and is growing away again now. Again, this will go on flowering now right the way through August and into September. The main garden's still looking bright with some colour in it. Lovely agapanthus in the foreground now starting to come out. They're really at their best in the first couple of weeks of August. We've got blue on this side and a contrasting planting of the white large flowered version in pots over on the other side. Still good colour coming from the hollyhocks. Buddleias setting seed but also flowering nicely. Continue to flower if we deadhead that. And the phlox is now incredibly almost over in the first week in August. Still some colour on there, but if we're close in on the flowers you'll see they don't like the drought here, and we're going to have to give those a really good watering to keep them looking fresh. The roses under here and in this border now having a rest. We may get a second flush of those if we feed and water for the rest of August. In the main body of the garden, colour palette's quite subdued at this time. The climbing roses in the trees have finished for the season. Flowering pear gives a nice dappled shade in front of the Methodist chapel, the back of the garden. And these that you'll see down by the duck pond in Blakeney really are giving a splash of tropical colour just on the lawn here, looking back towards the house. Hollyhock's still looking good, old man's beard's flowering nicely, and Crocosmia's almost finished here in Blakeney. That's still flowering beautifully over at Luddermand in the main garden in Elsham, but here it's set seed and has finished because it's in full sun baked on the back of this cottage. Looking the other way now through the white agapanthus, looking absolutely lovely with that blue and pink splash on the opposite side of the courtyard. Just caught a glimpse of this yellow rose, which is just giving a second flush, which is quite unusual and early. I think it's because it's in the shade of the fig tree there. Haven't had a fig off it yet this year. They're forming up nicely now. Normally reckon to get them late July, early August, but it's been a funny season, so we haven't picked a single one off this one yet. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And again, we've got more Japanese anemones doing their thing in this shady corner on the back wall. So I'm pretty pleased with the way this garden's holding up. Still giving the guests a nice splash of colour. Plenty of shade for days like today, because when we get skies like this, you don't want to be anywhere else than at North Norfolk in Blakeney.